Okay, 26. Go ahead.
Seth also had a son, and he named him Enosh. At that time, men began to call on the name of the Lord.
Okay, so here we're going down through the godly line of Adam. All right, men began to call on the name of the Lord. This is a time when the word Lord here is the word Jehovah. Okay, so they are calling on the true God at this time. And I read an excellent commentary on this. It was in the Table Talk there, Mom, about a month ago, and I can't remember exactly what I read, but it was very interesting on tying once again this into the New Testament. All right, this is the book of the genealogy, or the word is Toledot. I talked to some of you heard this before. The word Toledot means generations, and as the word Toledot is used in the New Testament from the time of Adam all the way to the time of David, it is spelled differently. There's about 5 different ways to spell this one word Toledot. And each time, it's missing one of the vavs, which is the 6th letter of the alphabet. And the vav means man. Okay, number 6 in the Bible is the number of man. Man was created on the 6th day, for example. And as you go through this, if you study it in the Hebrew, the word Toledot, where it's used here, it's missing a vav until the time of David, when the Davidic line is the final line leading up to Jesus. Okay, in other words, it's you're seeing the coming prophet, you're seeing the coming priest, and you see the coming king. So it's finally fulfilled in the Davidic dynasty. Anyway, so it's a very interesting study. Just something for you to keep in mind. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam in the day that God created man. He made him in the likeness of God. Okay. Go ahead, verse 2.
He created them male and female and blessed them. And when they were created, he called them man.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, his own image, and he named him Seth.
Okay, keep on going.
After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters.
Once again, other sons and daughters. That takes care of any problem with where did Cain get his wife or any of these people. There could have been, how many could they have had? And you know, I don't want to get thinking too much about who intermarried with who, but it does answer the problem, because there would have been billions of people very quickly if you can live to 800 years old. And we're assuming that people were closer to the fall, they were genetically superior to us. And I have no problem believing that. I've heard that analysis. And has anybody else heard that before?
Yeah.
And so I have no problem. I mean, she could have continued to bear children for many years.
Also, the earth hadn't gotten that polluted. It had to accumulate the...
That's right. And also we were still in the smaller earth before the flood, if in fact that's correct. There was a smaller earth with a higher, atmospheric pressure. And at the flood, it says the great deep broke open. The Rechia came down in rain. Okay, so they no longer had the protection from the outside. And that's why people didn't live as long anymore.
The actual physical diameter of the earth got bigger?
That's believed to be so. And the reason why is because the Bible's based on a 360-day year. Okay, if that's true, then it would have been a smaller earth. And so it would have spun. And that's why, you know, the earth just changed by how many point-something seconds it went off. Yeah, the earthquake, and that's happened 3 times in the past couple of years where the earth has shifted a little bit. Japan was moved 8 feet. Yes. Can you imagine that? The whole country of Japan moved 8 feet. So anyway, so I don't know if I'm right in this, but I would think that the earth is eventually going to go back to a 360-day year, because that's what the book of Revelation speaks of as a 360-day year. Whether that's correct or not, but the Bible speaks of a 360-day year, and so I believe that it was a smaller earth, and that there was a higher, you know, when you have the gravity down, I think it's atmospheric pressure, where you have a smaller earth, it would, whatever it is, and barometric pressure, that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, okay, go ahead, wherever we were, go ahead and keep reading.
After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other wives with him. Altogether, Adam lived 930 years, and then he died.
Okay, just keep reading, because it looks like, I don't know what we're going to get out of these names other than what I've just read, so just keep on reading.
When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. And after he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived 905 years, and then he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel.
Mahalalel. Yes.
And after he became the father of Mahalalel, King Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Kenan lived 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. And after he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. And after he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah.
Methuselah is the oldest man ever to live in the Bible, 969 years, I think. Is that right? Go ahead.
The oldest Methuselah.
Yes.
And after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. It didn't say that about the other guys, that he walked with God.
Right. Go ahead, and you're going to find out why.
Altogether, Enoch lived 365 years. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him away.
Okay. That was, see, she read that, and she was thinking as she was reading. That was very good. All right. Enoch, we have Methuselah's the oldest man to live, all right, 969 years old. And each one of these dates, you can chart it out, and I did this one time, and you put how many dates it is from the creation, and I think the year of the flood was 2006, but it's in my other Bible, not in this one. Anyway, so you can chart all these things out, and then I said, if you use a graph chart, you can see how the overlap of these people, literally, Adam lived like until, most of his great-great-grandchildren were alive, or great-great-great-great-great. Anyway, the thing about Enoch is, and now there is speculation about this, and I am going to give you my opinion. Now, as I said, there's only one truth in the Bible, but there are many opinions. I cannot say that what I am saying is correct, but I do believe it is, and I'm going to take you to the book of Revelation, and let's see if I can find this real quickly here. Let's see here. It says, I will give power, this is Revelation 11:3, I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands. This may take us to the end of this class. The 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands standing before the God of the earth. So everybody got that? There are 2 people that are listed there. There are different opinions on who these people are. Give me some, if you've heard who these people are, tell me what you've heard. Anybody? Have you heard? Moses and Elijah, okay? M-O-S-E-S and Elijah. That's one opinion, okay? Anybody else? Okay. No. What's that? Okay, he says Enoch. Who would be the other one? Enoch and Elijah, okay? Okay, you know what? Guess what it says in Hebrews? It is appointed for man to live once and then the judgment. To die and then the judgment. Thank you. So, I do not believe that this is that person, because you go down in here and it says, Moses died. Okay, not only that, but it also says that they will be killed. Where is that? In verse, my Bible is just completely falling apart. It says, where is it? When they finish your testimony, yes, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them. Now, this is me. I'm not saying this is correct, but I do believe that it's justifiable, and I'll tell you why. And it's going to take a little while to get through this. I do not believe it's Moses, and yet Moses and Elijah appeared at the Transfiguration. Okay? There's a few things that symbolizes. One, Moses symbolizes the law. Elijah symbolizes the prophets. Okay? We could also infer that Moses symbolizes the righteous who have died, and Elijah symbolizes those who never died, the rapture, okay? Never died, all right? There are some other things, let me see here. Law and the prophets, he died, he didn't die. There's something else that I'm forgetting. Okay, but he died, so he would not come back to life physically to die again. Hebrews dispels that, okay? Enoch never died. It says he walked with God, God took him away, okay? There is here, what's the difference between these two people? Give me a couple differences. Between Enoch and Elijah.
Enoch before the law.
He was before the law, meaning he was a, before the law, after the law. He is called a what? A what? Well, no. After the law, the people that are of the covenant are called what? We call them something now. We call them, what do we call?
Saints.
Well, no. Hebrew. Okay. Now we call them a Jew. Okay. But back then they were called a Hebrew. It says in Genesis 12, I believe, Abraham, the Hebrew. That's the first time the term is used. Real quickly, we'll go there, just so you don't think I'm making this up. I do think it's Genesis 12. It says, now Abraham, the Hebrew. And if I can't find it quickly, then I will go to my concordance and I'll get you the verse. And I want you to understand this because I think it's a wonderful, wonderful study. But if somebody has one of those little things that can find the word Hebrew, look it up. But Abraham, it may not be 12, but it's very early in the book of Genesis. And I'm going to, if you find it first, let me know, but FGH Hebrew. Okay? And this is just me thinking things through. Okay? This isn't something that I want to hold as doctrine, but I do believe it's correct. It's going to take a little while to get through it, but it is a fantastic study. Hebrew. It would be Genesis... Thank you. 14:30 told Abraham the Hebrew, the first time it was mentioned in the Bible. Okay, Abraham is a Hebrew. Now, Hebrew, nobody is sure where this word comes from. There are a couple different possibilities. One of them is to cross over. Okay, that is correct. I know it is. Believe me. Okay, the other one is that it comes from one of the people in the line of Adam, Eber. Okay, that makes no sense. Why somebody would pick that, I don't know. Crossover is correct. Okay, you read different rabbinic commentaries and they will say different things, but I know, based on my own studies, that it's correct. Now, as I said, this is me, so I don't want to hold this as doctrine except for Charlie Garrett, and I do believe I'm right. It means to cross over. Enoch and Elijah, he had not crossed over to the law. He is in the law. He's a Hebrew. He's not a Hebrew. Okay, there's a difference. Jew and Gentile will say. These two witnesses are witnessing to who? To the whole world, to Jew and Gentile, okay? They are the two witnesses to the world. Now, they are called the two lampstands, okay, and the olive branches. Where does that terminology come from? It comes from, well, yes, it comes from there, but there's a specific place in the Bible where it says, these are my two lampstands, and it's from the book of Zechariah. Now, I've got to find it real quickly if I can find it. The book of Zechariah has got so much pointing to Christ that you just can't believe it. It is unbelievable. Anyway, here it says here, now the angel, this is chapter 4 of Zechariah. It says, now the angel who talked with me came back and walked with me, wakened me as a man who was wakened out of sleep, and he said to me, what do you see? And I'm looking, and there's this lampstand of solid gold with a bowl on top of it, and 7 lampstands with 7 pipes to the 7 lamps. 2 olive trees are by it, one at the right of the bowl and the other at the left. Okay, so I answered and spoke to the angel who said to me, saying, what are these, my Lord? Then the angel who talked with me answered and said to me, do you not know what these are? And I said, no, my Lord. So he answered and said to me, this is the word to Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power. Oh, I can't read this without getting excited. What a great verse. I won't even read it. It's such a good verse. Oh, anyway, so I will read it. But by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts, who are you, O great mountain before Zerubbabel? You shall become a plain, and he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of grace to it. Okay, wonderful. Then down in verse 11 it says, then I answered and said to him, what are these 2 olive trees at the right of the lampstand and at its left? And I further answered and said to him, what are these 2 olive branches that drip into the receptacles of the 2 gold pipes from which the golden oil drains? Then he said to me, answered me and said, do you not know what these are? And I said, no, my Lord. He said to me, these are the 2 anointed ones who stand beside the Lord of the whole earth.